Questions? Okay.
Yeah. Discussion?
An affirmative decision doesn't necessarily mean agreement with the earlier. It's just that we're agreeing that the findings are accurate as we've described, and
That's true,
and we've got
yes,
everything
because this
covered.
is kind of
Yeah.
saying that
Okay.
how to make the body's decision legally sufficient.
Thank you.
Okay.
Your hands are still clean.
I just,
Well, right, I mean, we don't want to appear contradictory.
yeah, I just didn't know.
That's why it's difficult for staff to write these,
Yeah.
because there was a 4-3 vote, and so not everybody actually came to this conclusion, but the body as a whole
Right.
Yeah.
did.
Right, yeah, because it says right on
The
here,
body
oral
made a
decision,
decision,
it's
you
got our
have to
votes
make
on
it
here.
legally sufficient.
My comment, Mr. Mears, I think Brian did a great job capturing it all.
I did capture it.
Memorialized
It's
it
just a
well.
report, a finding of fact.
Perfect. Thank you. So, all right. Question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, that carries 6-0.
Sean, we've been going at this 3.5 hours.
I'd like to say,
still got one more to go.
I'm really glad that we didn't have
next
these
new-
hearings last meeting.
Next new business item is okay to move on? Everyone's done with their side chat? Okay.
I've used up all mine.
Request from the Bike and Pedestrian Committee to increase the committee membership from 5 to 7. There's a report within the piece requesting why. Liz is here from the Bike and Ped Committee. If you'd like to come to the podium there, table if you wish. If there are any,
have questions.
yeah, if we have questions, or if you want to,
I think I wrote it.
no, you did a great job. Thank you. Are there any comments, questions, thoughts?
Well, I do have a concern with increasing the number, not for any other reason than, well, I know she says she has people that are currently wanting to volunteer, because it's not always the case for all of our committees, and we have several, as I've reported, 2 of my committees tonight, who have quorum issues. So the bigger you make the body, the more people you have to make show up to have a quorum. So that's a problem for me. And the other piece that I just had a question is, that someone isn't able to come to the council meetings due to scheduling and report to us and back and forth, and that's kind of why we got this guy. You know, that's what the council liaison does. So I'm not really sure if that's a task that needs to be addressed by the committee. So those are my thoughts at the moment.
Okay, thank you.
I had a question on a parliamentary procedure. I know it's true of us that we have, okay, so by, yes, you're right.
Well, like Todd said, safety
I was
commission can't
thinking
even
about
keep their minutes.
thinking about the quorum. It is a quorum issue. It is not a matter of taking a majority vote, because then it's based upon the actual number that are there. But first you have to meet the threshold of the quorum.
Right,
To have
so
a-
discussion can happen, but a vote that
Right, and we had
sets
that.
the direction can't do that.
Okay,
So it goes up one.
I agree.
Correct.
And that's as to advisory kind of decision-making.
Right.
They can't even vote on their minutes without they don't have a quorum. So.
I actually share the same concerns that Councilor Hensley had expressed. I've seen it over and over again, where you have kind of an outpouring of interest for a limited period of time, and suddenly you can't even find 5 people to serve, and you have to have at least 4 to have a quorum. And as you said, we're experiencing that in one of our other commissions. So to me, this, I think it's wonderful that we have citizen participation. I just worry that there's a downside, and the downside is fairly significant when you can't get at least 4 people to show up. And that happens more often than we like to admit.
And that's not to say that your volunteers that want to help can't come to your committee meeting and help with something. They just, I don't see why we need to make it a formal expansion of the number of members, because we could, in perpetuity, you might not have this blessing of people that want help, as we're finding on our other commissions that have 7. So I wouldn't support this idea for right now, at least.
A question, if the numbers go up, they can be brought down.
You can bring it back down again.
I mean, 5 being obviously the
Certainly up to
idea
your
for
discretion.
being able to have a quorum. Okay.
Brainstorming on this, could we have language of up to 7?
Well,
Instead
the
of
problem is
locking
you
it
need to
into-
have a defined quorum.
Yes.
Okay.
What is the current quorum for any committee is 4?
Is more
It's the majority.
than half.
You have to have
More than
3.
half.
Right now you have 5, correct? So your quorum would be 3.
We've always had a quorum.
If you
Every
have
time
7,
we've
you'd
met.
always have to have 4, always.
So
I don't think that's a problem for the committee, historically, if you look at our attendance and our minutes.
I mean, you certainly have the discretion to move the number back down again if you found that it, at some point in time, wasn't working. What I've seen through my career is that you have large, significant interest in a particular subject area for a period of time, and then because one or more of the driving forces within a committee no longer is participating, you see that level of drop off, and then, you know, it's cyclical. And so, I mean, one way to manage it is to increase and decrease the number on the committee. Another way is to simply encourage citizen participation, maintain a 5-member committee, but encourage citizen participation so that everybody who comes has an opportunity to express an opinion.
The problem I have with that view is people tend not to be as vested if they're not recognized, not as likely to attend.
Well, and I know, Liz, that when you initially, you and Councilor Parkwood elevated, this was some of the questions that I kind of sent back, and I think you've done well encapsulating those answers, and I appreciate that a lot. I don't know if I asked it, so forgive me if it's a replay, about maybe just creating a subcommittee for particular issues that would allow maybe that engagement piece to occur. So maybe it's not upping that advisory group to that number, but to allow for that participation on maybe it's certain pieces that people are very passionate about to help move along within the bike and ped group. You know, so that was, and so again, I apologize if I.
Well, historically, we haven't had interest that way, or no one's come and said, I have this burning issue. They have a more general view of
that.
how to be advisory with bike and pedestrian issues. So I don't see a subcommittee as necessarily a strong action that the committee would take. It hasn't historically ever functioned that way. I think one of the strongest arguments for increasing the size is all the other advisory committees are 7 members. I don't know why Bike and Ped was set up as 5.
Library board
Does
also
anybody
5.
else know? I don't even know when it started. So.
we could inform, though, I mean, we have it right here in our packet, which are 5, which are 6, which are 7. Would it be valuable for you to hear which is which? I mean, the other ones that have 5 beside Bike and Ped, Budget Committee has 6, that's a different one, 6 plus us. Public Library only has 5, Canby Utility has 5, Historic Review 3 to 5, which
These
is
are all
interesting.
advisory ones?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
akin. And the ones that have 7, Parks and Rec, Planning, Traffic Safety, and Transit Advisory, so CAT. I'm curious, of the 7, Parks and Rec is hopping, right, Kim? There's no
We have a
vacancy.
vacancy.
Oh, we do now?
Yeah, we've had one
Oh.
since June.
Okay.
And there's several that I've had, you know, I'm always putting the word out, trying to get
Right.
applicants.
Okay. I know
We do have
someone
an
for
issue with
Parks.
that.
Okay. All right. Somebody showed it, anyway, side point. Planning Commission has had a vacancy for years, right?
2, right?
Is that right, years?
One.
One.
Okay. Traffic Safety full?
No, there's a current opening.
Now we have an opening.
Okay.
And they have
Transit Advisory
quorum
is-
issues there. bad.
Okay. Transit Advisory is full, I can say. I'm the liaison there, so.
So,
The ones that have 7 are all transportation related? Or no?
Parks and Rec,
Parks and Rec.
planning,
Planning.
traffic safety, though, and transit. But that is interesting. because
They are
you-
the ones that
That's
deal
true.
with transportation.
Right.
Multimodal, not just
Right.
cars.
but of the 7,
Right.
board of the 7 member committees, only one is full most of the time. So.
Councilor Coleman, you had a question or comment?
Yes, actually, I was going to maybe make a suggestion, Mr. Mayor. Since we appreciate very much the Bike and Pedestrian Committee, and since they're coming to us with this recommendation, what if we were to consider a 3-month test ride? And if it worked out for them, that they're continuously getting their quorum, they would stay at that number, and if they're having a problem with that, maybe we take it back down.
Well, you
3
can,
months is the short term that Rick was talking about, I think, that short-term interest
yeah,
period.
you have to take an action. You can't do an interim because you have to make the appointments. So if you're going to do it, you do it with an expectation that the change is going to be successful, and don't view it as a short-term solution. And
You actually have to change.
You have to change CMC, don't you?
Their duties are outlined in the municipal code, so we have to do an ordinance.
And then appoint.
yeah.
Okay.
So that test drive
So it
might be substantial.
it's a substantial test drive. So, okay. Councilor Parker?
As liaison to the Bike and Ped Committee, I do need to be an advocate for this. And I would say if the worst thing about taking this action would be that we have to come back and change the wording again, then we can do that. I'd ask you to think about how much skin off your nose this is to do this, because you do have a group of citizens who sat around a table and asked Liz to come here tonight and said, would you please ask them? And there was this hope, this glint in their eye that the city council would be responsive to citizen requests. So unless this is just a huge policy issue for you, I would say that this is a way of supporting our citizens.
I agree. I think it's important to support. I mean, there's excitement here. Clearly, this committee has, momentum. Some of them are flagging. And quorum issues, if it happens coincidentally twice in 1 month, I don't think that the sky is falling necessarily. It happens sometimes. Okay, so some committees need more help, and we can recruit there. But I would like to support, a vibrant committee here too.
Yeah, Councilor Parker's argument is very compelling, actually. Citizens.
Grand scheme of things,
Bring us an ordinance,
It's not a
Joe.
big deal.
bring us an ordinance.
Oh, Kim already did.
Okay. Oh, well
It's
done.
tight, it's ready. It's
Thank you,
just-
Kim.
On the next agenda.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Liz.
Thanks, Liz.
Appreciate you hanging out for the tail end here.
Well, that's true,
Hopefully
She should
we've
get
made
what she
it,
wants for time served.
Make it to 4 hours, Mayor, or?
we could.
Yeah.
I could drag it out a little bit. City administrators, so is there no action needed right now, Kim, before I move on?
There's just consensus to have staff bring back an ordinance.
And I'm seeing head nods that says yes. Okay. City administrators, business and staff reports.
Yeah, I have about a 10-minute report. So.
Thanks, Liz.
Thank you.
Just one thing.
It's funny.
I'm close to them, too.
You didn't get an elbow, that's good.
I do need to report that I have been appointed to the Oregon Department of Land Conservation and Development Rules Advisory Committee for potential rulemaking to address modifications, and I'm reading this because I couldn't repeat it if I didn't memorize it, for existing exceptions for transportation facilities for issues relating to a possible adjustment for the Arndt Road extension.
Excellent. But
So-
that has to be the longest
Wow.
committee ever.
That does not fit on a business card.
That's a resume.
You will never see this on my resume. If I can't say it by myself, I can't put it on. But yeah, so it's actually an exciting committee. It's
Thank you.
Very good.
Don't screw up.
short-term committee, but the idea is to look at realignment of Arndt Road to improve transportation access to city campus.
Excellent.
I like it. Moving onward and upward. Perfect.
And that's all I will bother
Okay.
with.
Question for Administrator.
Yes.
Is there, yeah, I'm using up one more than I had. Is there a business waiting on us to take an affirmative action tonight in URA?
Yes, we have the
Yes, that's next.
facade improvement.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on improvement.
So, yeah, I just, if it's expedient, then
Yeah,
great.
and
Okay.
yeah, it's a very short item.
Yep.
Good.
Okay, second opportunity for citizen input. What citizens are left? Any? Going once? Going twice?
Bob,
So, action review, Kim.
You have adopted Resolution 1226. You've approved Ordinance 1422. You've adopted the findings, conclusions, and order for CPA 15-01, ZC 15-01, and LL 15-04. You've adopted Ordinance 1423, and staff will bring back an ordinance changing the membership size of the Bike and Pedestrian Committee from 5 to 7 members.
Thank you. There is no exec session, correct, Joe?
No execs.
Better not be.
So I'll take a non-binding motion to,
Non-debatable.
not two, binding but non-debatable adjournment, please. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, we are officially adjourned. Stay tuned because we're about to switch over to the Urban Renewal Agency special meeting where now Chair Dale will take over.
All right.
Night, Joe.
Agency, I'd like to rely on our earlier opening ceremonies.
So done.
Thank you very much. I need a motion for the consent
I
agenda.
move to approve the consent agenda, which include the minutes from the September 16th, 2015 URA meeting.
Second.
It's been moved by Vice Chair Hodson, seconded by Commissioner Hensley to approve the consent agenda, which includes the minutes from the September 16th, 2015 URA meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries 7-0. Any citizen input tonight? Citizen says no. Any community announcements?
Citizens asleep.
Recorder's not saying anything, so we'll say no. Moving on to new business. New business tonight is a facade improvement grant application for the Canby Liquor Store and Appliance Renewal Service. We'll hand it off to our administrator.
Yes, the request is to approve a facade improvement matching grant of up to $25,000 for the Canby Liquor Store appliance renewal services. We do have an estimate of $2,800 to perform this work. Includes adding hardy panels to the current cement blocks, adding trim, shutters around the single window at the liquor store to repaint the brick front, paint the trim, and paint the hardy panels. We received two quotes on this. The $2,800 quote that I had mentioned to you was the low of the two.
I only have one question, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. So the shutters on the window at the liquor store, are they full shutters, like security shutters? Because I can't even count how many times that window's been broken. So I was just wondering if they're thinking ahead.
No, I believe that they are decorative.
They're just, okay.
I believe they're decorative.
Oh, that's too bad. That is not a deal breaker. I was just curious.
Any other questions?
Well, I do have one question. Rick, do you know if they're going to update their signage, just the plastic signs?
I don't believe they are. That wasn't part of the quote. So one of the reasons that we ask for the authorization for the larger amount is if we get into the project and we find an opportunity to do more with this particular facade improvement, then we'll pursue it. Right now, this is the extent of, this does require a 50% match for the property owner. So right now, we think that this is as far as the owners is prepared to go.
That'll improve that a lot.
And it will really improve the facade.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Any further questions?
I just have a comment, Mr. Chair, that this has been something a couple of us have been working on for years. It started on that block with Mike's Place and the American Legion, and we're moving down the block, and this is going to be a huge improvement to that block. So,
Well, we have the Health and Wellness Center
Yeah,
as
they
well.
did theirs.
They
that's
did theirs
correct.
as
They
well.
did the Health and Wellness Center.
Pass this around so you can see what it currently looks like, and then you'll get to see it when it's all done.
Yes.
No, it's going to be definitely a great improvement.
All right. Any further questions of the administrator?
Nope.
I'm sure.
Any further discussion?
No.
I'm ready for a motion.
I move we adjourn.
I move we. Oh my God, that's not.
I'll remember that one.
I move we approve the. Oh, I don't have it. I'll get it. Okay, Mr. Chair. I move to approve the matching grant of up to $25,000 for Canby Liquor Store and Appliance Renewal Services under the guidelines of the Downtown Canby Facade Improvement Program.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Hensley, seconded by Vice Chair Hodson, to approve the matching grant of up to $25,000 for the Canby Liquor Store and Appliance Renewal Services under the guidelines of the Downtown Canby Facade Improvement Program. Ready to vote?
Yes, sir.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Carry 7-0. Mr. Administrator, do we have any further business to conduct tonight?
No, we do not.
All right. Clint? Make your motion. All those in favor say aye. Good night, Canby. Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. So I have to say, there's one time.